Hey everybody, welcome to the e-bike experience. This week we're going to talk about the Tern Vectron S10. The Tern Vectron S10. It's a mid-sized cargo, but the cool thing about this thing is it folds. So if you're an apartment dweller like myself who lives downtown, it fits in confined spaces. But what I've learned, just like any other e-bike, if you allow people to tell you, they'll tell you their own experience. And what I've learned is a lot of people who own RVs and own boats are also the purchasers of folding e-bikes. One of the reasons is the restricted space that you're going to have on your boat, and then also the fact that if you have limited time off of the dock, you can go further faster with a folding e-bike than you can go with a standard bike. So these are a couple of the things that I've learned, and I'm sure you have your own things going on in your mind on why this would be convenient for yourself. But let me go over a couple of the features of the Vectron S10. First off, you want to make sure that you've got a really good set of tires on there, and Tern, just like always, they take care of you by putting on the Schwalbe Big Apple. One of my favorite tires is puncture resistant. There's no such thing as puncture proof, but it is puncture resistant. It works really well. It's a wide tire, so it's going to give you the right amount of cushion, and it's going to make it for a nice comfy ride. A lot of people look at me and they say, well, how is it riding with a 20-inch tire? Well, this is a Class 1 Bosch motor, and so 20 miles an hour on a 20-inch wheel or 20 miles an hour on a 27.5-inch wheel is exactly the same, and that's what I tell people. You're not going to have any issues. And once again, if you're on a cargo bike or you're towing, you definitely want to have that lower center of gravity, because if you're carrying a bunch of weight or you're carrying a child on the back, which you can do with the maxi seat on the back of these, you don't want to have those big tall tires up and have you swinging around all over the place. Another thing you want on your bike that this definitely has is the Magura disc brakes. Super reliable. The reason we like to go with disc brakes is a standard brake, if it gets wet outside, when that caliper grabs the rim, you're going to have to squeeze a lot harder with a standard or what you might be used to. But with a disc brake, these are some of the most reliable brakes in the world. So you go ahead, you can get them muddy, you can get them wet, and they're still going to be a lot more reliable than a standard brake. Another cool thing about the S10 is if you look at it, you're thinking it's a smaller bike, but right off you can see that it's got the telescoping seat post. So just like most Terns, this bike actually fits people from 4'11" all the way to 6'5". So people come in and they're amazed when I pull that seat up, and I show them the ease of the ability to move and adjust these bars for height as well. So they really, once again, take care of you on that. They supply you with the Bosch Active Line Plus motor, so you're going to get a little more on the torque end of things as opposed to the top end, because once again, this is a Class 1, so you don't need all that top end speed. You want more of the ability to be able to get up those hills if you need to get up the hill. It comes with a very reliable light system, the aero bars on the front, the Atlas rack on the back, so you can definitely add your attachments to it. We already talked about the maxi seat, but you can also add a ton of proprietary Tern attachments to the back, and you can definitely, I'll leave the link so you can go to the website and look through all that stuff, because that's really, if you watched my last video where I talked about the HSD, one of the main selling points to these bikes is the ability to really make them your own through adding a basket, through adding a child seat, or anything really of that nature. If you actually go look up Tern online or on the Facebook page, the stuff that people do to these bikes is surreal. Another thing is the pedals do detach. So once again, when you're folding this up, they want you to be able to maximize, or in other words, minimize the space. So pedals are going to pop off. It comes with what's called the Porter seat. So if you do need to throw it over your shoulder, it's got a really cool cushion there, so it can aid you in that. Other than that, I mean, this bike really speaks for itself. We talked about the Bosch Purion computer. It's got the Bosch power pack, the 400-watt battery on there as well. So you've got more than enough power. I personally usually ride about a day and a half on a 400-watt if I'm actually just casually riding. If I'm power riding, I will get a full day on it, but I have been known to actually get up to almost 90 miles on my Power Pack 4 on my HSD. So it just depends on really what you're towing. So hopefully I gave you a little bit of information about the Tern Vectron S10. We of course do have it in stock at Electric Avenue Bikes, 3613 Woodward. You can give us a call, 313-752-1186. You might want to come in sooner than later because I've been getting a ton of calls on these. Summer's kicking in, so come on by and check one of these out.